All right, welcome in, 4 o'clock on this Monday afternoon. Face you don't normally see in the evening.
I know, the Christian Morgan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How y'all feeling?
Great. How are you, Sydney?
I'm great, Tanya.
Good.
This is all good. I mean, it's a Monday.
Yeah.
And things are calm.
Yes.
It was
thankfully.
not like that this weekend.
Yeah.
Not at all like that yesterday, especially.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. Well, Tanya, I'm driving around today. Obviously, you could see trees, branches just scattered all over the roads, and then several communities will be using today to clean up. WFMY News 2's Manning Franks has a look at some of the progress.
As Greensboro began to assess the damage, one neighborhood got the brunt of Sunday's storm. Two homeowners I spoke to recently illustrated even how with one street there can be two separate outcomes. For the Green Valley neighborhood, they're cleaning up after a stormy Sunday.
The next thing I heard was a tree branch crashing through my sliding glass doors.
And for homeowner Glenn Helms,
if you see this was really like 3 inches over, so the top part of this has shifted.
it's going to take time to recover.
My deck was destroyed. I couldn't get my car out because there were trees in the driveway and all over the backyard.
As for his power,
I will be out without power for an extensive amount of time because the trees destroyed my outside power meter.
on the street over, the Van Burens were a little luckier.
I mean, now it's just kind of putting things away and waiting for the next opportunity to have to do cleanup.
This morning, they've been up and fixing what they can.
Grab my phone. It's just part of home ownership and being in a community for so long that you know it and its neighbors, and you just help each other out when these kind of events happen.
While damage varied in this Greensboro neighborhood, both owners expressed a sense of optimism and gratitude.
We had lots of friends saying, "Oh, come on, spend the night with us," and we were quite content just to be here. You know, slept with the windows open. Fortunately, it wasn't super muggy hot.
I had friends drive up from Durham. I had relatives come over. I had friends from old neighborhoods put up plywood to secure the entrance to the house. So everybody kind of gets together and gives to each other in this area.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I think it was about on Saturday, I was out there and I was on, I think, US 29, and I saw a few branches and trees just kind of out there. Obviously, police helping to navigate out there so folks could be safe as well, too.
Christian, I know for you, you are our weather guy. So tell us a little more about, because why is it so concentrated in just one area? Is that how storms just usually are? Because it's so funny. One street, as I was saying, completely fine. Just a little bit of leaves here and there.
The
but
next one?
Yeah.
Next one, a tree in the house.
Pretty interesting because this weekend, even though we had storms, there wasn't a whole lot of wind in the atmosphere overall, so there wasn't a lot to move those storms around. So you might have noticed if a storm popped up in one place, it really sat there for a while. Part of the reason the damage was concentrated, also part of the reason why we had some flash flooding in some spots, and even some of that yesterday too. So it just depended on where those storms popped up, but they kind of popped up and kind of rained themselves out before they moved on.
You make me smarter. I would listen to him and he makes me smarter.
As always.
Absolutely. But it's really nice to hear from the community and hear how they came out to help each other. Every time something like this happens, you always hear that, whether from the neighborhood or friends, family, relatives will come by and help them either
It was
way.
the best of.
The best of.
That's right.
Circumstances.
In the
right.
worst, yes.
Hey, you know what? If you're not cleaning up, consider yourself lucky this time around. But really, on any given day, the tree could be on your property. And the question you want to ask yourself now is, will my insurance cover that damage?
It's covered as long as it causes damage to your property. This can be the side of your house, it can be a fence, it can be a shed that you may have, but the key is that it has to damage your property and or block your driveway to get in and out.
And the reason she's making that point there is most homeowners' policies will not cover just plain old tree cleanup. Insurance only pays when the tree causes damage to the home. Some companies let you buy a rider to get them to cover that cleanup. But the most common insurance question we get at 2 Wants to Know is, who is responsible for the tree damage? Is it my insurance or is it my neighbor's insurance, especially if that tree came from their yard?
It is always the homeowner We get this question a lot. You know, a lot of circumstances with a neighbor's tree may have fallen on your next door neighbor's home. The homeowner is always responsible.
That's it. The homeowner is responsible. All right, what about this situation where a tree fell from the highway and damaged this woman's car? Well, if your car is financed, the finance company requires you to have comprehensive coverage. But if not, comprehensive coverage is optional. And if you don't have it and a tree happens to fall on your car, well, you know what? Then you are going to pay all of the costs.
And thankfully, it's a much quieter afternoon of weather on this Monday. After a few showers early this morning, now we've given way to plenty of sunshine across the Piedmont for our Monday afternoon and evening. You still see a few little puffy cumulus clouds in the sky, but as we work our way to our Monday evening, into tonight and into tomorrow, most of those clouds will clear out of the way and we have a lot of sunshine returning for the next few days. Take a look at this too. As those clouds have moved out of the way, we've got more sunshine. Our temperatures have really rallied. Even this afternoon, our temperatures were only up around 80. We're now in the mid 80s across most of the Triad cities. 84 in Greensboro, 85 Winston-Salem, 84 in High Point, 82 in Lexington. We're at 81 in Asheboro and 80 for our friends over in Siler City. And if you step outside, you already notice the difference. Changes are happening. You'll see that back to our west and northwest with dew points now falling into the 50s. Much drier air is moving in behind that cold front as it moves out of the way. Dew points in the low 60s still here in Greensboro, but the 50s north and west. That drier air will continue to move in. So the next couple days, even though still hot, will be a whole lot less humid and very noticeable to be less sticky outside. On the radar, of course, things are quiet across our Piedmont Triad. Still eastern North Carolina dealing with the clouds and a few showers and a busier afternoon of weather for folks along the Grand Strand down close to Charleston as that cold front continues to push on by. Tonight we're looking at clear skies. Temperatures will fall down, very comfortable with that lower humidity. Helps us cool things off. We're looking at mid 60s overnight. And on the way for our Tuesday, like I mentioned, we are going to get warm back up close to that 90-degree mark. We'll be full of sunshine tomorrow, but the lower humidity will be noticeable and make it feel a whole lot more comfortable to be outside.
All right, let's take a look at your 4 to 5 roundup. The prime suspect in the 1982 deadly Tylenol poisonings case is dead. 76-year-old James Lewis was found dead in his Massachusetts home yesterday. Lewis was believed to be responsible for the deaths of 7 people living in Chicago who died after taking Tylenol laced with cyanide. Police never charged anyone in the murders, but Lewis did in fact serve time in prison for sending an extortion note to Johnson & Johnson demanding $1 million to, in his words, stop the killings. Officials say Lewis's death is not suspicious.
Questions remain unanswered this evening after 2 people were found dead in High Point. It stems from a 911 call last Friday about an assault on Spring Garden Circle. Police have not identified the bodies, but they are investigating it as a murder-suicide. We'll be sure to let you know when more information is available.
Longtime Mebane Police Chief Terry Caldwell retires at the end of this week. He is calling it a career after more than 2 decades with the department. His last day is Friday. The city has selected Mitch McKinney to replace Chief Caldwell. He currently serves as the Deputy Chief of Police in Apex, which is just west of Raleigh. McKinney has more than 2 decades of experience, including time spent at Chapel Hill PD. He'll take over the department on the 24th.
The Davidson County Sheriff's Office is looking for some new deputies. The Sheriff's Office is hosting a meet and greet for potential new recruits. Prospects will learn about the detention center and the opportunities available. The event is tomorrow night at the Sheriff's Office on Highway 64 in Lexington.
2 popular restaurant chains are setting up shop in Greensboro. Habit Burger, is slated to have its grand opening on Wednesday. The new location will be off Battleground Avenue in the Trader Joe's shopping center, right where Chick-fil-A used to be. Habit has 2 other locations in the Triad, one in Burlington, one in Clemens. And then on Thursday, a new Chipotle will be opening on Battleground Avenue as well. They're going to be serving customers at their new spot near West Ridge Road. That's right across the street from Kohl's. The new location will have a drive-through lane for online orders only. The company, they say, likes to call it Chipotlane. Get it? Not Chipotle? Okay. This will be Greensboro's 4th Chipotle.
All right, well, speaking of restaurants, check this out. What do you think about saying I do with Mickey D's? McDonald's is getting into the wedding catering business. Right now, the option is only available in Indonesia, but it could be coming to the States. Restaurants there are offering a wedding package with 100 burgers and 400 McNuggets for about $230. The fast food restaurant says it will even set up a stall at the reception to serve the food. But Tanya, the only downside to this, okay, is French fries. So it's not included. I want to know.
Oh, no, that is a deal breaker.
What do you think about that?
Deal breaker.
You have to have Isn't it a deal breaker? Fries. I'm sorry. I have to have French fries, especially McDonald's.
I agree.
You know, I mean, if anyone asks me what is my favorite fast food French fry, it's McDonald's.
It is a good French fry. we're not even going to argue about that.
We can't argue, no. And what do you think about having it, you know, for a wedding and all of those things? $230. Some people might like that.
I mean, that's a cheap way to feed everybody. You know what? Okay, you're going to have a picnic and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's fine. Cater it out there.
I know. I mean, a lot of people like McDonald's. It's very popular. So I can definitely see some people doing it. And I mean, weddings is a chance for you to do you. So if you like McDonald's, then you're the one footing the bill. So whatever you want to eat on your wedding reception, that's it. That's right.
All right, there's a new twist to the saying, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The USDA has approved the sale of lab-grown chicken in the U.S., and our Verified team is looking at where you can buy it.
In June, the USDA approved the sale of chicken made from animal cells for the first time in the United States.
That's right. No egg and no bird, just cells grown in a lab.
This approval gives two California companies, Upside Foods and Good Meat, the green light to sell cultivated or lab-grown chicken in the U.S.
And now Verified viewers, including Sandy and Yvonne, want to know if cultivated chicken is being sold in U.S. grocery stores. So let's verify.
Our sources are the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food Safety and Inspection Service, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, Ricardo San Martin, director of the Alt Meat Lab at the University of California, Berkeley, Upside Foods, and Good Meat.
The short answer here is no. Lab-grown chicken isn't being sold in U.S. grocery stores, but that isn't because it isn't safe to eat.
The FDA and the USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service have given it their seal of approval. It's actually because cultivated chicken meat is much more expensive than farmed chicken meat. Upside Foods and Good Meat grow their chicken meat cells inside a cultivator. The cells are fed nutrients and vitamins for growth. When they're big enough, the cells are shaped into a range of meat products, including cutlets, nuggets, shredded chicken, and satays. The whole process takes a few weeks. But according to Ricardo San Martin, director of the Alt Meat Lab, the process for creating cultivated meat in the U.S. isn't scalable to the mass market yet. So instead, Upside Foods and Good Meat, the two federally approved vendors, are selling exclusively to restaurants for now. So we can verify, no, lab-grown chicken isn't being sold in U.S. grocery stores. But it likely will be one day, when the production and distribution costs make it a more profitable process. And just like farm-raised meat, it will bear the same USDA seal of approval found on all meat products, because it is subject to the same inspection process as conventionally produced meat.
With your Verify and a lot of grocery shopping to do, I'm Ariande Till.
All right, I was watching Sydney's face through that whole thing.
Oh, no, just calling me out.
And you were like,
I'm ready.
I don't know.
I feel like it would just be kind of strange if I heard, you know, oh, this was, you know, made from a lab. I don't know. Maybe I'd be better just not knowing that information. And maybe I wouldn't even know the difference.
And you might not, because, I mean, it is chicken. Like, it is an actual chicken cutlet. So it actually is meat. It is not plant-based. It's all the little cells.
And I'm not surprised that this, you know, could even actually happen, because it's just years and years to come. We're just evolving. I mean, we are literally evolving as the years come. So, you know, especially the AI, you know, with the intelligence system.
I mean, they say that it's supposed to, you know, cut down on having all those farmers having to have all the, you know, livestock and all that other kind of stuff. It just seems weird, doesn't it?
It's so strange.
Seems weird. But maybe that helps solve some problems for, you know, countries that can't.
That's very right. That's very true. All right, 4:13. We'll be right back.
All right, I've got an echo in my ear. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, good. All right, good. Yes, it is gone. Thank you for fixing that. I am talking about subtle ways that stress impacts.
All right, welcome back. You're watching the 4 to 5. In a recent interview, actress Maria Menounos revealed she believes stress caused her stage 2 pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, and this really got us thinking about the importance of controlling our stress in our lives. And sometimes we may not even realize that we're stressed or really how it's impacting our body. So this afternoon, we've got our own body language expert, Blanca Cobb. She's joining us to talk. Let's talk stress.
Yeah, Blanca, good afternoon. What are some signs that you're stressed and just may not even realize it?
One way is that you have a hard time concentrating. And when you have a hard time concentrating, it leads to forgetfulness. And that can be an aha for a lot of people because they don't make the connection between lack of concentration and forgetfulness. Also, it can also lead to procrastination. You just don't get whatever it is you need to get done. And then even after a good night's sleep, you still feel very tired and fatigued, or you run out of energy pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was going to be like my next question. Like, how does that affect our like immediate health? And definitely being tired. Yeah, I can see that.
Yes. And then furthermore, what happens is some people will eat, they're hungry, so they'll eat a lot, which can lead to weight gain, or some people are just not hungry, so they eat too little, which leads to weight loss. Then you have all kinds of aches and pains, from headaches to stomach aches to muscle aches. Frequent colds, which surprises a lot of people, and some people will get skin problems. They're more prone to acne during times of stress. Also, rosacea, if they have it, can flare up during stressful times as well.
And relationships, of course, sometimes can be very stressful. What's the impact there?
This one is pretty touchy because sometimes you tend to be more sensitive to situations that normally wouldn't bother you. Or someone might say, well, why did you say that or do that? This just seems to be so unlike you. And then you're left going, well, why did I say or do what they just said? Sometimes it's a head scratcher for yourself. You tend not to have as much patience, or your fuse, is a whole lot shorter. Sometimes you just don't have that romantic feeling for your partner. And what that means is, or what it can do is, it can cause some distance between the two of you. And it can just cause some problems. And you tend to withdraw even from friends. You're like, no, I just don't feel like going out. I'm just going to hang at home, or I'm going to go do something by myself. So any of these little subtle signs that are atypical for you, normally meaning how you normally don't do things, that's a moment for you to check and see what else is going on in your life.
Right, and not ignore it and not bypass it and say, oh, it'll just go away, to like really work on it. All right, so we're going to continue this conversation online on Blanca Cobb's Facebook page. She is their body language expert.
Well, thankfully, things have become a bit more quiet as we've gone into our Monday afternoon. Some clouds, maybe a sprinkle or a light shower for you this morning. That's now all come to an end. You can see any rain that's left in North Carolina is in eastern North Carolina and along the coast. The folks with the busier day of weather actually are a little further to our south. So South Carolina, the Grand Strand, even down to Charleston, seeing a lot in the way of heavy rain and thunderstorms for today. But as our cold front continues to push on by, our clouds will continue to clear as we go throughout the rest of the evening. And of course, now across our area, we're seeing a lot more sunshine than we were earlier on. That will continue to be the trend as we go into this evening and over the next couple of days. As that cold front continues to slide to our east, high pressure behind it will build in and take more control of our weather. It's also changing our wind direction. Now our winds are coming out of the north and northwest. That's bringing in some drier and much less humid air. If you step outside right now, it's even more noticeably less humid than it was at about lunchtime this afternoon. So when you step outside, when you go home from work or you go out for those evening plans, you will really already start to notice a difference. High pressure remains in control of our weather for the next few days, keeps us, yes, a little less humid and quiet. Humidity's taking a break. Storms are taking a break for the next couple days as well. By Wednesday afternoon and Thursday, that high will shift to our east and we're really going to start to warm up again in a pretty big way. Also add the humidity back in as we go toward the end of the week and into the weekend. For tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures into the mid and upper 80s. Could get close to that 90-degree mark by the afternoon, but we'll be full of sunshine tomorrow and not as humid tomorrow evening as well. My forecast for your Tuesday, 89 degrees. You can hold me to that.
So many of us came to rely on food delivery drivers during the pandemic and continue to do so. And now a movement to pay them more faces a challenge over in New York City.
Yeah, there's companies like Uber Eats, of course, DoorDash, Grubhub. They're trying to stop a rule that would raise the minimum wage for drivers. Now, over the weekend, a judge temporarily blocked the wage increase, which was set to take effect this Wednesday. It would require companies like Uber, DoorDash, and Grubhub to pay drivers in the Big Apple $18 an hour. Right now, the city estimates they make just a little over $7 before tips.
The movement has already led to higher wage laws for gig workers in California, Washington State, and Seattle.
I mean, this is
You have to work at least between 12 and 14 hours a day to get at least $140, $160. We have also families. We have to feed our kids.
In this case, Uber, DoorDash, and Grubhub are taking New York to court. DoorDash claims the city's progress was, quote, misguided and warns it'll lead to price increases for customers.
So all of this got us wondering, what determines how much you tip your food delivery driver? I asked on my Facebook page, and here were some of the responses. Sharon said, if they come out in bad weather, we definitely tip well. Brenda says it really depends on the service and what's being done with that. And let's see, we've got one more. Let's see, MD chimed in saying he tips online when he pays for the order, usually gives 20%. He says he actually tries to avoid delivery orders on stormy days, and he also tips for takeout orders as well.
I haven't done door delivery in a while, but I'm with MD in terms of trying to avoid calling them on stormy days, because I always think about, if it was me out there, would I really want to be out there? So I'm always thinking about safety.
You're like, I'll just pour my own bowl of cereal.
Right. I'll just go. I'll take an L and go out myself.
I think I've maybe only ordered food delivery since like the old days of ordering a pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
But do
maybe.
you pick it up more often?
I usually go pick it up.
Because I'm always on the way when I'm always like ordering it. So it's kind of convenient for me to pass through than when I'm going home.
But ever since COVID, I have tipped more. Like I didn't used to tip on takeout orders before COVID, but once COVID happened and you knew that that was the only way that those restaurant employees were working, I was like, yeah, I'm going to tip you. And so that's just kind of become regular.
Yeah.
I think it's we're such a society now of convenience, and we want it fast. And the quickest way we can get it is what we're going to do, no matter what it costs, because food delivery is expensive, plus the tip.
Right.
So I think we've sort of gotten into that point now. It doesn't matter what it costs, as long as it provides convenience for us. Cost is maybe doesn't matter as much.
Doesn't matter as much. That's true.
That's right. We'll see you at 4:30.
What up? Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check, mic check.
Just after 4:30 on this Monday afternoon. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. I'm Christian.
Hi.
Alongside Miss Tanya Rivera and Sydney Mora.
Hello. How are y'all feeling today? It's Monday. Does it feel like a Monday?
It doesn't feel like a Monday.
It actually doesn't. I was thinking Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe,
That's a better feeling for sure.
I was hoping you were going to say Friday.
I know.
I wasn't going to say Friday at all. But we got a lot to talk about this half hour. We got some sports, Hollywood writers strike, and plus, we're talking Amazon Prime Day.
Because why not?
Yes. But
Doesn't that
before
start tomorrow?
It starts, we got to get there though first. Christian's excited. So Christian, speaking of it, what's going on with the weather? I mean, it was pretty crazy this weekend.
Yeah, busy weekend of weather as far as storms go. And then even this morning we had clouds. Maybe you got a sprinkle or a light shower in your neighborhood. Now that is all gone. And as we go throughout the rest of the evening, we're going to be clearing things out. And one big piece here, lower humidity. That's going to be the story over the next couple days. As you look out across the Piedmont right now on this Monday afternoon, really is a beautiful day of weather. Not too hot, not too super humid. You notice some more sunshine peeking in now between the clouds, and those will continue to clear as we go into your evening, and especially by tomorrow, we're going to be looking at a couple of really nice days of weather across the Piedmont. Now that the clouds have cleared, our temperatures have really rallied from around 80, even the middle of the afternoon. Now here at 4:30, we're up to 84 in Greensboro, 85 in Winston-Salem, 82 Burlington, 87 Yanceyville, 84 in Reedsville, 85 in Walnut Cove, and to the south, 82 in Asheboro, 86 in Troy. We're at 82 in Albemarle, 81 in Lexington. If you step outside right now, it's even a lot different feel to the air than around lunchtime. Why? Well, we have lower humidity that's building in. Take a look at this. Dew points now down in the low 60s across the immediate Triad. North and west, we have dew points falling into the 50s. So we have much drier, much more comfortable air moving in for the next couple of days. Of course, things are quiet on radar across our area. The busier afternoon and evening of weather still remains along the coast of North Carolina, down to the Grand Strand, even down to Charleston, with some heavy rain and thunderstorms this afternoon. Tonight, we'll fall down into the mid-60s with that lower humidity. It helps us cool things off a bit easier. Under a clear sky, we're looking at 64 overnight. And for tomorrow, your Tuesday, we're going to warm up close to 90, full of sunshine, but that lower humidity making all the difference in the way that it feels outside tomorrow.
Slowly but surely, power is being restored across the Triad after some weekend storms. The weather packing quite a punch yesterday, tossing trees, flooding streets, knocking out power all over. One woman is counting her blessings after a tree fell on her car while she was driving on Highway 29. That tree smashed her windshield and left her stranded.
I was just in complete shock. Like, I literally felt something come banging down on my head, glass flying everywhere. Like, I didn't even know what happened. I just knew something hit my vehicle and slammed the brake and pulled over and tried to get help. There was huge tree branches all lodged through my car. On the top of the vehicle, the tree came down super hard, smacked my head. So I was stuck. Somebody had to come and pull some of the tree branches so I was able to get out.
The fact that she's able to talk about it is really amazing. A driver a couple cars back ended up helping her out of the jam. She says that he is now her guardian angel.
The Triad felt its fair share of heavy rain and flooding, but some parts of the Northeast were hit even harder. Torrential rain moved north, submerging roads and wreaking havoc. A woman south of West Point in New York tried to evacuate her home, but she died when she lost her footing and was swept away. Similar scenes played out across the Northeast. The roads, and bridges buckled under the weight of water in Norfolk, Connecticut.
Bridge on our property, it's basically floating on the water right now. If it comes up, I don't know, 3 or 4 more inches, the bridge will be gone.
And first responders were able to rescue dozens of people by boat, many caught by surprise at how quickly the water rose.
All right, more news as we get to your 4 to 5 roundup. President Biden is in Europe for a series of high-stakes meetings this week. His first stop was in Britain, where he met with King Charles for the first time since his coronation. After that, he traveled to Lithuania for the annual NATO summit. Sweden and Ukraine are both looking to join. The trip will wrap up with a final stop in Finland, which did join NATO earlier this year.
Smoke-free legislation is working according to a new analysis. Researchers who reviewed the effects of smoke-free laws found they led to significant decreases in death related to cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, and even better outcomes for childbirth. The study's authors say the findings support the need to speed up the implementation of anti-smoking laws.
Deaths caused by opioids in the U.S. rose 63% during the pandemic. Now, this new study found 1 of every 22 deaths in the U.S. in 2021 was due to an unintentional opioid overdose. Doctors say this highlights the need for more resources for substance abuse treatment, particularly, they say, among men and young people.
North Carolina Fusion U15 soccer team is made up of players from around the state, many from right here in the Triad. Head coach Michael Baer's squad has qualified for the ECNL Regional League National Tournament this week out in California. This team is ready to play and full of confidence as they look to bring home the championship.
It's huge. I mean, I think, for these boys, playing on a national stage is something they, largely don't get to do very often. For some of them, that might be their first time playing on this kind of a stage. So I think it's huge for them. It's not something that happens very often. It's even for me as a coach. I've been coaching for about 13, 14 years now. So I was telling the boys the other day, it's only my second time competing for a national title at any level. And so I think it's a pretty special thing. Kind of keeping them calm and composed is more my job. The boys are talented, and when they start playing, they're really, really good together. We talk a lot about mindset. We may have had some games throughout the year that the result didn't matter for us. We tried to have the same kind of mindset going into that we do now when it's an elimination tournament. And so hopefully that helps with the nerves, because it's just another day playing soccer with your friends like when you were 5 years old. This group is, I think, a pretty special group, to be honest. The culture of this group is phenomenal. The boys bring a great energy to practice. They have a good balance of competitiveness, but also kind of lightheartedness. They have fun when they're out there together. So yeah, I think it's an excellent group from that perspective. Anytime you're competing for a national title, I mean, that's pretty special. So I think it'd be awesome to bring home a title, represent the club, represent North Carolina, represent these boys and their families and everyone that's put so much work into it. I think it'd be awesome.
From the soccer field to the gridiron, the Carolina Panthers are expanding their Hall of Honor. The team says former wide receiver Musa Muhammad and defensive end Julius Peppers will be inducted into Carolina's Hall of Honor. Panthers owner David Tepper just made the announcement today. Both players finished their careers with the team after being drafted by the Panthers. The additions to the Hall of Honor will increase the team's total to 9. The All-Pros will join the likes of linebacker Sam Mills, quarterback Jake Delhomme, and wide receiver Steve Smith Sr. The ceremony will happen during the team's game against the Houston Texans, and that's happening in October.
And get ready for the Panthers training camp. It officially starts on July 26th. The team will be practicing at Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Training camp runs through August 10th, so there will be several opportunities for you to watch and show your support. The practices are free to attend, but you will need to reserve your ticket on Ticketmaster.
The Major League Baseball draft is underway in Seattle. The 3-day 20-round selection process kicked off last night with the Pittsburgh Pirates and Washington Nationals snagging 2 players in the first 2 picks. A trio of Wake Forest players also heard their names called on day 1. Right-handed pitcher Rhett Lauder went 7th overall to the Cincinnati Reds. He became the second Demon Deacon taken in the top 10 in program history, the first in 20 years taken in the top 10. Lauder had an incredible season, setting single-season program records for wins with 15, strikeouts with 143, and he finished 15-0. That is the most incredible stat there. He has a long list of awards and accolades. Most recently, he was named the ACC Male Athlete of the Year. Also in the first round, with the 18th overall pick in the MLB draft, the Milwaukee Brewers took Wake Forest's Brock Wilken. This season, he broke the ACC all-time home runs record with 71. He also has the most in Wake Forest history. Now, speaking of history, it is the first time for the program that 2 Deeks were taken in the first round in the same draft. And later that night, Sean Sullivan went in the second round to the Colorado Rockies. He was the 46th overall pick. The left-handed pitcher had the second lowest ERA in the conference, 2.45, and had 5 wins in 17 games. He had 10 starts for the Demon Deacons.
What I love about that is we just saw them play at the College World Series, and it was amazing. It just was amazing. And to know that they got drafted in the first round, that's just like so cool.
Speaking of that, Paul Skeens, the LSU pitcher, he went number 1, and then Rhett Lauder went the next pitcher. He went 7th. But so we really did see the 2 best pitchers in college baseball.
Yeah. A lot of good sports happening. Also looking forward to the Carolina Panthers training camp. I'm not able to attend. I wish I could. I love football, but it's always such such a fun time for fans to be able to see the players up close and personal. So
Yes.
reserve your tickets on Ticketmaster if you're interested.
You'll get to be there.
I'll get to be there. It'll be very hot, but it'll be fun.
Through you. We'll be back.
All right, welcome back. Well, Hollywood is bracing for what would be a devastating 1-2 punch.
Yeah, because we're talking writers and then we're talking actors on strike, and they aren't alone as many workers nationwide get ready to walk a picket line. Elsie Preston has the latest.
What do we want? Fair contract. When do we want it? Now.
Hollywood is on the brink of a shutdown. With signs at the ready, members of the Screen Actors Guild could soon join striking members of the Writers Guild on picket lines. SAG's current contract with studios expires at midnight Wednesday. But labor troubles go far beyond Tinseltown in a still tight job market.
Outside of Hollywood, it seems like we are seeing strikes. Is that where our society is now?
I think ultimately in an inflationary environment, employers want more seat at the table. The price inflation we're seeing across the board, and salary, job cuts, and everything else.
This weekend, UPS workers in Minneapolis practiced striking. Their Teamsters union has set a deadline for July 31st, or packages and trucks will stop rolling. Auto workers for Ford, GM, and Stellantis could be next. Their contracts run out in September. Nationwide, workers in various industries are off the job and on picket lines, all demanding higher wages and better benefits as corporate profits and executive salaries have risen.
If the actors do strike, the financial impacts ripple far beyond Hollywood. Experts say it could cost the economy billions of dollars. Elise Preston, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Wow, yeah. I mean, this is something that has been talking back and forth for weeks and months now. I mean, and writers play a huge part in Hollywood and film industry for TVs, for shows, all of those different things.
Right, and there's a couple of different things here, right? We want them to be paid what they are supposed to be paid, right? We all get that as workers ourselves, right? And then we're consumers, and we're like, where's my show?
I know. I mean,
Where's
there's
my
so
show?
many fun couch potatoes out there, you know, that definitely love TV and love shows. So, yeah, it'll be something.
And so we're going to see how this goes. I mean, with the whole UPS thing and all that kind of stuff.
It's a developing story.
That's the whole, you know, supply chain issue. So we'll keep our eyes on that.
That's right. We'll be right back. Amazon's annual two-day Prime Day event starts tomorrow. It's the retailer's largest sale event of the year as consumers flock to the website for discounts on everything from electronics to kitchenware.
Yeah, there's a new wrinkle this time, though. Amazon is offering invite-only deals for some of its hottest products that it's fairly certain will sell out. So shoppers have to request invites to purchase these particular goods, but aren't required to buy them if chosen.
It is very interesting how they're going to be dishing these out. Is it first come, first serve or whatnot? And are we going to be seeing more of this when Black Friday comes along? Are other retailers going to look at this and say, we'll do the same thing?
All right, so this could be a testing ground for future sales. The items can be found on Amazon's main Prime page. There's only a few of them, including, excuse me, an Amazon Fire TV, a Soda Stream, and a Motorola Razr phone. So if those are your things, you need to get in on it.
Okay, interesting. Well, we asked you all on Facebook, what deals are you most excited about for Prime Day? Taslim says her cart is loaded and ready to go. She just moved into a new condo and she's shopping for chandeliers. Max says he wants an electric bike if grown people can ride it. I'm sure they can. And Diane says, not really sure. I will know as soon as I count my money. And Squeaky says he is looking for an Echo Dot 5th generation. I'm still stuck on that Motorola Razr
phone.
Maybe people just want to.
It's like the blast from the past,
Right. Maybe to just like collect it and put it in some sort of box and say that this is of the past.
I got excited about those in middle school.
Oh my gosh, they were so popular. I felt so uncool if I didn't have the Razr phone. Seriously.
Right? It's like a status symbol almost.
Now, will you be buying things on Amazon Prime Day?
You know, I never need anything on Amazon Prime Day because whatever I get, I usually have already gotten when I needed it a week ago,
Okay.
2 weeks ago. So now I'm like, well, I don't really have anything
to get
necessarily.
Well, I had been last year wanting an Apple Watch, and it was on such a good sale last year that I bought it for myself for my birthday.
Okay.
So that was worth it. And I have used it and I have enjoyed it.
Don't
you
you
just say that?
Can we just talk about, well, just my personal opinion. I love Amazon Prime so much. I really do. Just the 2-day
you can get anything
They even had an option.
Where you
Why
could
are
get
you
it
laughing?
like in a couple hours.
No, they even had an option where you could get it in like 10 hours, like less than 2 days or 1 day. Blows your mind.
Like you said, convenience, convenience, convenience.
Doesn't
Isn't that right? Let's talk about that weather. How about that? Let's talk about the weather.
Cindy's going to get herself in trouble here. 4:53 right now on a Monday afternoon. Things are much quieter now than they have been over the last couple days. You know, storms rolled through the Piedmont Saturday and, of course, yesterday on Sunday. Now all of that activity has come to an end. And in fact, we're seeing more sunshine across the Piedmont than we did even early this morning. Maybe you got a sprinkle, maybe a light shower in your neighborhood. All of that is over now. And as we go throughout the rest of our Monday evening, we're going to continue to see our clouds move out of the way with clearer skies returning for this evening and for the next couple of days as well. Sunshine with a few of those puffy cumulus clouds mixed in. We're in the mid-80s all across the board in the Triad cities now. And as this cold front continues to push on to our east further and further away from us, high pressure is set to build in right behind it. And we're already starting to notice that. If you step outside right now, it's a lot less humid than it was at, let's say, lunchtime. So you can already start to notice and feel those differences. High pressure will remain in control of our weather over the next couple days, not only giving us the lower humidity, but also keeping us storm-free, at least for Tuesday and Wednesday. We start to add in a low storm chance as we go later in the week. But yes, even with that lower humidity, still going to be hot with afternoon high temperatures around 90 for the next couple of days, maybe even low 90s as we get toward the end of the week and into the weekend. Overnight, clear skies and comfortable temperatures will fall down into the low to mid 60s across the immediate Triad, likely even some upper 50s in the foothills and mountains. That lower humidity makes it a whole lot easier for us to cool off. Tomorrow, for our Tuesday, mostly sunshine. Temperatures warm up into the mid 80s by lunch and then upper 80s as we work our way into the afternoon. Yes, it will be hot, but no, it will not be humid and quiet through Wednesday. After that, we start to add in that low shower chance and back to afternoon storms with heat and humidity by the weekend.
109876-54321, 109876-54321.
Hello there. Good evening. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope everybody's having a good Monday so far.
Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This weekend, I had the honor of presenting at the Greensboro History Museum a speech about one of my journalism heroes, Edward R. Murrow. The CBS broadcasting icon was born right here in Guilford County and highlighted as part of a look back at Greensboro during the 1940s. The museum had a special day dedicated to the period, with other speakers highlighting the wartime effort, like the all-female Darlinettes Jazz Band at UNCG. They played events while the men were serving. We also learned how Greensboro school children collected over 300,000 pounds of scrap metal for the war effort. And military reenactors highlighted gear from the Greensboro Training Center that once was the largest military base in America within the limits of a city. During World War II, over 330,000 servicemen trained there, plus nurses, chaplains, and military bands. The whole day was such a powerful reminder that when things get tough, our nation, our state, and our community can pull together. Everyone was working for the same goal: to win the war, protect our freedom, and keep our kids' future bright. The next time our world seems divided and people can't seem to agree on anything, I'm going to remember Greensboro in the 1940s. A powerful example from our past of what we can achieve together in the future. That's my 2 cents. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.